The Highways Maintenance Efficiency Programme came out of the last spending review, one of the toughest for many years. Andrew Smith, Chief Executive of Hampshire County Council, gives some of the reasons why the programme was set up.
I think we all know the problems with public finances at the moment. We all know that getting more efficient in what we do is important. I think part of that efficiency is collaborating with other local authorities. That requires local government to come together to do that. And I think that collaboration has to be with the Department for Transport as well. It controls a great deal of the resource, and we need to work in partnership with central and local government.
An influential voice for contractors is the Highways Term Maintenance Association, or HTMA. Its chair, Philip Hoare, outlines why contractors have also welcomed the inception of HMEP.
I think we recognised very early on that actually the best thing for us to do as an organisation was to basically look at the HMEP programme and how we could support that. It's just, I think that at the moment the challenge that faces us all is about trying to, maximise the amount of money that goes into frontline services. And the best way of doing that, I think, is for the public and private sector to really throw everything up in the air and say, right, let's look at how we deliver these services, and importantly, look at how these services are delivered together to maximise the efficiency. There are a number of examples out there already of really excellent relationships that have been developed. For example, there's Buckinghamshire County Council, which has worked very well with Ringway Jacobs to develop an incredibly tight-knit partnership using a thin client model, which again is starting to deliver significant efficiencies in the sector. There's Gloucestershire, an example from that I'm very close to my heart, one that I used to run myself, which has now been in place for about 5 years, which is a very integrated public-private partnership where half the staff are Atkins employees and half are Gloucestershire County Council employees.
I think we would argue that where an idea is a good enough one, we should look at it seriously. And we've been looking at procurement, efficiencies, cost reduction and transformation programmes. This programme, I think, sits fairly amongst those. We know we spend £30 to £40 million a year of council money on the network. If we look at that over the life of the council, it's in excess of £100 million in each administration. I think there's a realisation both with our private sector partners that we have to get smarter. We have to get more for less.
But as Philip Hoare highlights, there are many challenges facing the programme.
The fact is that the way that highways maintenance works in the UK and in England in particular, there are a variety of 150 so different highway authorities, all doing things in different ways. Some of them delivering services in-house, some of them working very closely with the private sector already. So from one extreme you could say there's 150 answers for each of the different authorities, or you could say there's one. I think where it actually sits is somewhere in between. And what we need to do, I think, as part of the programme is develop a suite or a range of solutions that basically allows authorities to still have that independence to select which is more appropriate to them, but actually to minimise that and to try and standardise that and introduce some consistency. Because this variety and lots of different authorities using lots of different contract forms, different specifications for works, that variety introduces inefficiency.
But in spite of being supportive of a new reality in highway maintenance, surely contractors will only be driven by bottom line results and will maximise profit at every opportunity.
Clearly, we are private sector companies, all of us engaged within the HTMA, and we do need to make a profit. That's why we exist. However, what we recognise is that there is so much to go at in terms of driving efficiency in this sector. We want this sector to be a buoyant one for both the public and the private companies that are involved in delivering services. And we recognise that the only real way of doing that is to look at how we work together as individuals and leaders within our business. The HTMA, we are absolutely driven by that, and I know that my counterparts and the other member organisations of the HTMA are absolutely focused on, how can we use this programme to drive real efficiency, drive some real innovation in the sector, and actually make it an exciting and dynamic place for ourselves and our member companies.